How's it going, guys? Welcome to Monday's upload. Looking at the thumbs up from the video on Friday, I think, or Thursday, something like that, where I asked you guys what you wanted to see. There was one comment that had like 80 to 90 thumbs up. It was NU. I was like, you know what? I think I have an NU or two or something like that. I looked through. This is the better of the two. Is the more interesting of the two, if you ask me. And I will go ahead and explain why that was interesting. So we'll just go ahead and get right into it. It was against a Luigifan1234. Hell of a match, if you ask me. And we'll go ahead and play it back right now. Alright, now looking at it, there are a couple things that I don't really fight in general, but I kind of have seen enough to know what they do, except for Glalie. But, you know, Noctowl, I know that thing's a special defensive wall. Arbok is, you know, you can run coil sets on that, choice band, you know. I'm not claiming to know a lot about the NU metagame, but I have a basic grasp on, you know, what things do. So, NU is kind of a fun tier. I'm just still really not used to the NU-RU split, so there's a lot of times where I brought RUs into NUs, and, you know, that just doesn't really end up working out. It's still a very new tier. It's very different from 4th gen NU. But, I think Mesprit was NU in both generations, same as Pikachu anyway, so I'm kind of thinking he wants to trick the Light Ball off of me, so that way, you know, he limits my usefulness. But he ends up going for the attacking move right off the bat, and, you know, just cuts my HP, like, I think that's directly in half, if I'm not mistaken. But I honestly thought it would have taken that a little bit better. So he goes into Arbok, you know, just to intimidate me, so he can take whatever hit I'm going to go for better. Takes the U-turn, amazing. Look at how much he, like, took from that. He took, like, nothing. So, going to my Rotom right now, because I know that Poison will resist Ghost. I have Sub in case he's some weird, like, defensive Toxic set or something like that. Basically just means I'm good to sub up on the switch to scout out what he wants to do about it. So I set up a sub as he goes into Noctowl. Kind of a weird thing if you ask me, but then again, Noctowl is a really specially defensive poke. I've been, you know, watching Zed use it, and it takes hits really well. So that is a Life Orb T-Bolt coming off of a Rotom. Does about half, and that actually kind of surprises me. But he whirlwinds me out. Of all the pokes he could have whirlwinded me into he whirlwinds me into the other thing with the stab super effective move, which is like, you know, you're fucked. So I'm going to go ahead and hit him or anything that else wants to come in with the T-Bolt. He recognizes that nothing wants to take a Light Ball Pikachu T-Bolt, so he's just going to go ahead and leave it in his fodder. And he can just go into a Scarf for next turn, which is, you know, Mesprit. If he's sending in Mesprit now, it has to be Scarf since Pikachu is naturally faster. So he goes for Zen Headbutt. I was like, Pikachu is not that fragile. Maybe you can live it, maybe you can live it, maybe you can live it. And he doesn't live it. I'm like, okay, mental note, Pikachu really is that fucking fragile. So I go into my Mr. Mime right now because I know he's Scarfed and he's locked in on that now. And I know I can resist his Zen Headbutt, so this is my my sub Parafusion Baton Pass Mr. Mime. Has no attacking moves whatsoever. All it does is it just parafuses to the point where you can pass out a sub to something else. It is a strictly support set. I've been running this thing for a while. It's a lot of fun. It's also probably one of the only times you'll get to see Teeter Dance in general, but since it doesn't, I don't think it gets confused, right? You could probably run Swag or something weird like that. I just like Teeter Dance. So I go for the T-Wave. I kind of expected him to Shell Smash for some reason to be faster than me next turn, and just go for that. But he goes for the Aqua Jet, and I'm going to go for the Teeter Dance now, and I'm thinking he probably went for Crunch instead of Aqua Jet, you know, since my sub's down. Makes sense, but he hits himself, so Parafusion, you know, lowering his odds to attack me, you know, by a lot. And I got lefties, you know, so I can stall out some turns, you know, in case I fail to make a sub or whatever. It's fine, you know, I got plenty of health. I can just sub down, pass out. But he switches out, which gives me a free sub. Now, the thing is I don't really know what Mesprit's going to do. I'm kind of suspecting the U-turn to go out into something else and break the sub with the super effective move. That would make sense to me. But he either misclicks here or does not know how Trick works, but you cannot trick something that is behind a sub. That actually lets me get the safe T-Wave on it because I thought he was going to U-turn, go out to something else. I would have paralyzed that as well. So, the thing is now as Mesprit is paralyzed, it's a Choice Scarfer. I do not have to worry about this shit at all. He switches out, which actually gives me a free Baton Pass. This is what I was waiting for. I knew that Mesprit would not want to be there anymore, being locked in on Trick. So I Baton Pass out into my my Dredagon. I think that's what it's called in English. It's called Red Wings, but it has blue wings. You gotta think about it for a second. If you get it, leave a comment. But I go for the Outrage. He tells me this is a curse one instead of a Shell Smasher, so it's got a little bit more invested in HP because of that. It takes it a lot better than I thought it would. He is going to go for the safe Earthquake because it's neutral. Stone Edge won't fail him or miss or anything like that. You know how it goes. Stone Edge is just a bitch. So he goes for the Earthquake. He knows it'll break my sub. Knowing that he's paralyzed and he's going to be slower than me, and he probably knows from the damage it's a Choice Banded Outrage, he doesn't want anything else to take it. He's going to leave Caracosta in to die, just to get a little bit of damage off. It really isn't much damage at all. That was like what is that, 25? That's nothing off my health. So he heals into Glalie now. This thing gives me a shit ton of trouble because I did not expect Disable on this thing. I don't know what I expected. Maybe Choice Specs, something like that. Not Disable. So he has Sub Disable on this thing, and it actually kind of makes sense because, you know, it operates kind of like Gengar does with, you know, your stab move and then another move and then Sub Disable. But it gives me a lot of trouble because, you know, he's taken out, I think, a couple of my other conventional attackers. Actually, I don't... He's taken out Pikachu, which is probably one of the only things I have faster than it. Everything else that's slower, what am I trying to say? Druddigon doesn't work out. Braviary is Scarf, so he can just sub and disable. Druddigon, you know, disable it right off the bat. I end up baton passing out because I kind of want to just scout out a set. Mr. Mime is the most specially defensive thing I have on here. And I figure I can take one hit in order to scout out what he wants to do. Now that I have Braviary in here, I'm actually going to go ahead and U-turn, break the sub, and I'll see what he wants to do. The smart play here is to definitely go for the sub again, but the thing is that he doesn't have rocks up, so I can keep doing this as much as I want, but I am going to end up losing out on sub poke. So I decide Rotom is the faster thing to do, and I'm going to put him in a situation where he either needs to attack me and leave himself exposed, or he can keep subbing down, but he's really not going to benefit much from subbing down, so he has to attack me. He can't wear me out with life or recoil because, you know, Glalie's slower. So, unfortunately, I have to, you know, sacrifice my Rotom like this, but it gives me the opportunity next turn to switch in Braviary, who is Scarfed, will outspeed, you know, by a reasonable amount. He does have Arbok, but honestly, you know, it's an adamant Brave Bird. It'll still do a really good amount of damage to anything, even after Intimidated. So, I do switch in my Braviary. He does go out to Arbok. I think he has that and Mesprit left or something like that. But if I'm not mistaken, he goes for well, he gets the Intimidate here, and I get a crit on him. Looking at the prior damage I got on him, I don't know if that little nub of health actually mattered at all, but it is a 2-hit KO with it, which is why, you know, the crit kills him right off the bat. I was pretty intent on just staying in and Brave Birding until I died at this point, because, you know, I forced Glalie out. I can worry about it with Zangoose or something else later. But he goes into Mesprit now. Now, looking at how much it does if he wanted to switch out immediately after with Arbok, that looks kind of close to half, so nothing he really had was going to be safe. But because of the recoil, he's going to be able to take me out with the U-turn, and I think he ends up going into Glalie or Magmortar. I think he has a Magmortar left, so he gets switch advantage on that. Now, the thing is I'm still scared of Scarf Magmortar, but, you know, I can kind of chance it with Druddigon, despite the Flame Body. Now, he ends up going for the sub, which, you know, right off the bat, you wouldn't run sub with Scarf. So I go for the Outrage. He can definitely sub-stall me until I get confused, and then, you know, take advantage of that. But he sees an opportunity with Glalie again because I have a Choice Bander. So what he's going to do, he's going to switch out to Mesprit as fodder, and then he's going to get the safe switch into Glalie and then disable me, assuming I'm not confused at that point, owing to Outrage only being a 2-turner. I think I end up pulling a 3-turner. But anyway, since, you know, Arbok's got Intimidate doesn't even apply, you know, it's a Choice Banded Outrage. It's going to take out a bunch of shit. So in comes Glalie. I was kind of hoping he wasn't going to go for the Disable and just, you know, try to kill me outright with an Ice Beam. But Disable is definitely the safety move. I've been using it for the past 2 turns, you know, and I did get the 3-turn Outrage there. So I have to switch. It does give him the sub. And, you know, now I'm back to square one struggling with this thing. I never thought I would be struggling with this thing. I need to get more familiar with NU, or I just ran into a fucking weird set. But Zangoose is my last option here. I know I'm faster than Glalie, and I'm a fresh Zangoose. I haven't seen his 4th move, but if it's like Hidden Power Fighting, then I'm definitely done. But I'm still under the impression that he's running Shadow Ball with Stab. So I go for the Return so I can go for the Close Combat next turn. I know Return will do at least 25% to break the sub. Glalie is not really too bulky. I think it's got like base 80 and everything. I take the Ice Beam. Okay, I guess, but the point is that I broke the sub and I'm able to take him out with a Close Combat, and I think it's down to this and it's this and my Mr. Mime against the Magmortar. So if I don't knock out Magmortar with Zangoose with what I have right now, then I'm kind of screwed. But the thing is he is still at a very, very healthy green range of health. I guess I'm either underestimating Zangoose or overestimating fucking Magmortar's natural defenses, but I do take it out in one shot, and I get instant karma in the form of Flame Body, but that actually does it for the game. If he did kill off my Zangoose, if he did live or whatever, I would have had to sub-parafuse him, and the instant he got enough health to substitute and squeak through that, you know, it would have been his game. So it was very close in that aspect. That Glalie definitely stopped me in my tracks for a while. I did not run things that are so slow, or just different choices in general. But that was a pretty interesting game, if you ask me. If you guys enjoyed it, you're welcome to leave a like, rating, comment, subscribe, do your thing. By the time you're watching this video, I will probably unlist 3 videos at the same time, one of them being this one. The other one being, if you're in my theme team tournament, the round 1 brackets. Pay careful attention to that video. There are a couple of things I want to talk about as well. And a TCGO video for you guys. So, I got an afternoon full of entertainment for you. I hope you guys enjoy. That'll do it out of me for this video, though, and I will see you guys tomorrow.